this truck easily, I was able to bind the Traxxas TQI. This has the longest reception. I don't know how far it goes. It goes really, really far. I don't go too crazy with batteries. I put Energizer rechargeable in, or dollar store Sunbeams, and they work fantastic. So I don't go crazy about that alkaline batteries. I don't see the need for it. So here we have two 2S batteries in the LANDSLIDE. We do not have stock tires. Everything's stock. Pinion stock, spurs stock, ESC stock. Oh, no, it's not everything stock. The steering servo has been changed 2 or 3 times. And the TQI not only is fantastic, it had to be changed because what came with this truck was the remotes I love, but it didn't work well at all. Didn't work. I don't know what happened, but the receiver broke on it very early. Now this has the steering stabilizer, so as this goes fast, this truck, it's going to wobble back and forth. The tires are not stock. These tires are gigantic. They're great tires. I had to glue them on. They are the cheapest tires you can get. I got 4 of these gigantic tires for not a lot of money, and they're great for what you paid. 4 of the 6-pack tires would go for about $80, right? 4 of these I paid, I don't know, maybe 50. I don't remember. I bought them a long time ago, and then I just put them on. These tires will not go on the Maximus. And I did not try them on the Epidemic yet, because Epidemic has gigantic tires anyway. What we do have is a heat sink that I had to Dremel until I broke it, because I had to, because there is a brace to hold the motor. So most heat sinks will not even go on this motor. So I put a heat sink with a nice big hobby wing fan, and I believe this fan blows inward also, because I believe this is pretty much the same fan from the Maximus that I added to this. This truck did not have any heat sink on it. One thing that's different about this truck that we just saw with the Maximus is that there is where the spur gear would be, and it's not open. So if you could leave a comment, this makes sense to me, because the dirt is not getting in there. I mean, it is getting in there as you drive it. This seems like it'd be a better design not to have everything go up and hit the spur gear. So I guess there's no difference. Why have it open? If I thought it was to dissipate the heat, but if it's to dissipate the heat, well, I guess this truck's not doing it. This truck I've had a while. This truck, we live in Florida, I've driven on sand. It'll go sand all day on the beach, except when you go into wet sand. And wet sand, I destroyed both of the differentials. I was going to destroy the differentials this year. I could tell they were scraping along, and what I did was I threw a ton of WD-40 in it. And when I take these differentials out, instead of using really expensive RC grease, what I use is motorcycle chain grease, because that's what I use on my motorcycle. So I figured that's on a real motorcycle, not a RC motorcycle. I believe you can use that grease with these. I don't understand. A lot of people are using clear grease with these differentials. I'm not, I bet you it's expensive. I haven't looked it up. Whenever I bought RC stuff, I found other things that work just as well. This stuff comes stock with a very dark grease. So I don't know why motorcycle grease seems like it would be just as good. We're running 2 2S's here. They're Fleurions. They're okay batteries. I destroyed a bunch of them, but I think that was my own fault. They're 2 different ones. This one is, I believe, is 5,000 milliamp hours. This is 5,200 milliamp hours. They say not to do this. I don't know. I don't think this is a big deal, 200 milliamp hours. The discharge rate is about the same. That's one thing we didn't talk about on the other ones. The discharge rate on the other ones were 80C. This discharge rate, I don't know. I'm guessing it's around maybe 25C. Definitely like the bigger wheels or tires on this. We'll get this body on. Let's see if it takes more than a second. We can pause the video. What happens to this truck is that as you use it, the body bends inward. So what happens is they don't tell you this in other videos, you have to take a hair dryer to it. So you take a hair dryer to the bottom of the chassis, and then I physically put it over my leg and I bend it back. You can see it's bent in a little bit now because I struggled to get the top on, but it wasn't really that bad. As you use it and bash it, it will bend again. Other than the sorry about that. I don't know there's people driving on the wrong lanes here in Florida, which yeah, that happens. The guy thinks the other turning lane is or the other bound lane is a turning lane, but it's actually the oncoming lane. I guess they don't know what double yellow lines mean. Apparently. Yeah, well, that's Florida for you. So these tires look like they're bent inwards because they are. These back tires look like they're bent inwards, which they are. That's how it came stock. And they're supposed to be bent inwards because that gives you high traction. So that's what I did with the Force Epidemic in the front. So, oh, really quick, we couldn't even use my TRMT8E BE6S because it breaks all the time. ESC, everything. I've fixed everything. We'll talk about that truck in another time. We also have the 1/8 Arma, no, not 1/8, 1/10 Arma Granite that went to BLX. That's a 1/10 scale. Great truck. Really, really a pain to fix. So I usually pay to get it fixed. I don't like working on that. Stampede. I have the body somewhere, but that's a 1/10. Bought it as the brushed version. I can tell you, no matter what level you are, don't ever use brush motors. They are beyond junk. And this has a very fancy remote to it that I have not used. This tape is just to hold in some weights because otherwise this truck comes up too easy. We'll talk about this truck in another time. Aftermarket wheels. Actually, I don't remember where they're from. They're from one of the Armas. I don't know. This is all covered because I've had something stolen, so everything is locked. And all right, let's get the landslide going. Let me turn on the receiver here. I mean the transmitter. Okay. So one thing I forgot to show, not only has the steering servo gone, the original, and then the 20 kilogram, I put another 20 kilogram. This might be the third 20 kilogram, I don't remember, second or third. Not only does that break, but the steering servo saver, the saver breaks. I just fixed it. I'm not going to keep fixing it. It does help the truck drive, but it breaks very easily. So I don't know that we're going to jump this truck as hard as the other ones, because this one doesn't, right, so it doesn't usually break, but the steering servo saver breaks very easily on this. And the only part that breaks is the pull. The rest of it doesn't break. One thing you can do with these 1/8 scales, different than the 1/10, is you can, climb curbs much easier than the 1/10. Let's do a quick speed run out here on the regular pavement. So with this TQI, it just makes that truck go straight, and it makes the truck go far. I don't know how far, because it gets to a point where you really can't see it. So we'll do a quick run back. We'll see if we don't kill the batteries or the ESC in doing this. We're at 3/4 speed, and we're at full speed. We probably got those front tires really ballooning. This looks faster than the Maximus. Ooh. Doesn't it? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Oh, you can see those front tires. You can't usually wheelie this truck Let's try it. Yeah. All you're going to get is those front wheels to balloon on you. One thing we like to do when this is our first or second video now, my wife does like to come in with these trucks and ram on the brakes. And I'm not usually huge on that, except I don't mind with the dirt because it's going to drift. So I wouldn't say that was a good example. Let's turn the truck and then hit the brake. There we go. All right, let's take it to our jump area today. Like I said, I'm not sure how hard I'm going to take it on this truck. All right, let's see what happens here. Gigantic tires. Yeah, I don't know that you have the same stability like you do with the Maximus. I think just looking at this truck, you can tell that the wheelbase is not as and see one jump. I think I broke it. It's turning, but it's turning very sluggish. Anyway, you can see that the steering, the wheelbase is not as wide. Okay, that was my fault. Yeah, there's something wrong with the steering. We can look at it in a minute together. Problem, I lost control because I was thinking about what to say. All right, let's try a little jump this way. Yeah, it's not gonna like that. Potentially, maybe because of these wheels, the truck is higher also, which changes the center of gravity. Ooh. It's not, yeah. We got all sorts of motorcyclists here today. It looks like a kid's drive on that one. No, seriously. Am I right?
Yeah.
Okay, well, we got some steering issues. Alright, I don't know. We didn't look at it yet, but let's try it just again. That hit pretty hard. So the Landslide's a great truck. We're not having great luck with it today. I paid $290 for this. If you've noticed, I try to pay as least as possible for each of these. Okay, there was a good jump. You can see we hit a little brake on the halfway through to get it through the jump. Yeah, it's definitely, it's not like controlling the other ones. Maybe the wheel, it comes with big wheels. Maybe these wheels are too big. Let's see if I can hit this right on. Now we were on the wrong side. Let's see here. Looks like back passenger side wheel is kind of dragging on in the back. Something don't sound right. Something is not right. Something is not right.